Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play World of Warcraft Storytime. The last episode was a little bit short in a matter of content because, well, I began showcasing the new add-on and correcting the errors I've made so far to the War of the Ancients story. So, before getting distracted, we will just turn in the quest and then continue the story of the War of the Ancients. And we got a new beta out for Storyline, the 1.2 beta, and it comes with a little bit more of options like locking the frame, which right now doesn't work. Got animation speed for the text, so I can tune that down or up, whatever I want. You can now resize the text and auto-equip rewards, but that one, not using that one. So, let's begin and see what the Lady Windrunner has to tell us. It would seem that Crowley is more formidable than I anticipated. Still, he's a man, flesh and bone, full of secrets that I know all about. You have served me well, Ryanko. I could use someone of your ability at the sepulchre. I have a plan to deal with Crowley and his insurgents once and for all. Will you help? Maybe. Let's just say maybe, and let's see, this one is more work. Ride with me to the sepulchre, Ryanko. There are many things I wish to discuss with you. It is imperative that you understand the history of Lordaeron and the plight of the Forsaken. So, a little, cinematic.
I have not always been the Banshee Queen, and my people have not always been the Forsaken. Long ago, this land comprised the northern kingdoms of Lordaeron, ruled by King Terenas Menethil. Terenas had a son named Arthas. Arthas. Even saying his name makes my body quiver in rage. This man-child, Arthas, took for himself a cursed blade known as Frostmourne. Through Frostmourne, Arthas killed his own father and raised this land along with every living creature in it. My own death came at the hands of Arthas when he and his armies sacked my homeland, Quel'Thalas, and murdered my people. In his vast cruelty, Arthas severed my spirit from my body and raised me as a banshee to serve in his scourge army. A similar fate befell all that would die to the scourge war machine. In death, they were reborn as mindless undead, but Arthas was not invincible. With each passing day, his power waned, his grip over the will of the damned loosening. It was when Arthas was at his weakest that I struck. And though the hour of his atonement had come, the worm managed to escape his fate, returning to the frozen wastes of Northrend. With Arthas gone, so too was the control he held over the undead masses of Lordaeron. After recovering my body, I freed the remaining scourge that were left behind. From the cruelty and mercilessness of Arthas, the man who would be Lich King, the Forsaken were born. Our goal, our sole purpose, was to destroy the Lich King. We threw our lot in with the Horde and began our journey towards redemption. Now, the Lich King is dead, and we have returned. The people who called this land their home in life do so in death as well. But the Alliance does not recognize our rights. They claim this land as their own, while attempting to invalidate the claims of the founders of this kingdom. I will never allow it. Never! Lordaeron belongs to the Forsaken. always and forever.
Yeah, the story of the Forsaken in a nutshell. Yeah, nothing more to say to that. Just getting the flight point and then turning the quest back in.
What are we if not
Do you
slaves
now
to this
understand
torment?
the importance of our mission here? Crowley and his alliance dogs must be stopped.
What joy is there in this curse?
A convoy of verdant troopers and Forsaken catapults were ambushed earlier today while attempting to cross Olsen's Farthing, directly south of here. It was a total loss. All troopers were killed and all catapults destroyed. Bloodfang's pack was responsible for the ambush, though likely they have all fled back into the hills, preparing their next cowardly strike. Their day will come, but for now I want you to go to Olsen's Farthing and honor our fallen. Recover their Forsaken insignias. And 2 other quests from the Admiral Hatchet and Warlord Torok, who we already met. Those that survived your assault on Fenris managed to drink the blood of the wolf. They turned into ferocious worgen, hell-bent on vengeance. Now they paddle across Lortimer Lake and assault my sea dogs. Many have already been killed. The worgen monsters must be stopped. Make your way to the decrepit fields east of here, and kill the Hillsbred worgen that infest the area. Once you've killed them all, make your way to the Horde communication panel located at the docks. I'll be in touch.
Go with honor.
And Warlock Torok, thank the War Chief that you're here, Yanko. I've made a critical error with the Sea Dogs and need your help to rectify the situation. You see, I sent them out against the worgen coming from Fenris Isle, stone cold sober. They attacked the beasts and promptly got their butts handed to them. Many of them died, but a few still live, barely clinging onto dear life. Take this barrel of ale to the decrepit fields east of here, and force it down the throats of fallen sea dogs. Okay, someone who can only fight drunken. A drunken monster. Isn't that nice? Nice of them. So, we were talking about the War of the Ancients, and I don't know how many episodes I can record today. So, I'm simply going to, again recap what happened, but in a much faster fashion because we already are 8 minutes in the episode. So, Tyrande is at the Temple of the Mother Moon, whereas Cenarius with Malfurion, Broxigar, and Ronin, they are in the Glade of Cenarius about to be attacked by fell beasts, whereas Illidan is with Lord Ravencrest. He saved Lord Ravencrest's life because he got attacked by a fell beast, and Crassus is with his own at the hatchery, at the caverns that the Red Dragonflight calls home. So what happens next? They are attacked, obviously, by the fell beasts in the Grove of Cenarius, but they firmly held their ground. Ronin, knowing that this is a time travel story, that he and Broxigar and Crassus aren't supposed to be in this time, he refuses to fight at first because he fears of altering the timeline and damning his family, his wife, his children to non-existence, because every small step you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you, everything could change or alter the course of history and would result in his family never existing in the first place. Which is, for him, something he doesn't want, obviously. Because he loves his wife, he loves his 2 children, his twins, actually. And during the fight, he sees that Broxigar, he doesn't care he simply attacks the Fell Beast, but Broxigar doesn't really know what happened. He doesn't know that he's in the past, that he could alter the timeline. So what he does is he fights with all his might, and also Ronin, in an attempt to help his allies, to help Malfurion and Scenarios fighting, he casts a spell, and that spell, it magnifies. For the Well of Eternity is still there. It is still the font of all magic. So Ronin's spells are empowered greatly, or vastly I should say. So he incinerates almost every fell beast in the grove, helping a great deal without injuring his allies. But there's one thing that he didn't count on. A fell beast snuck on behind him, so Ronin is in mortal danger, about to be sucked dry of magic. So in his last moments he tries to focus, he tries to cast a spell of teleportation. So, empowered by the Well of Eternity and weakened by the attack of the Fell Beast, his spell somewhat backfires and not only teleports him away, but also Malfurion and Proxigar, and they don't know where they are. Locating the spell, Illidan, he informs his superior. He informs Lord Ravencrest. So a search party of Lord Ravencrest meets up with Malfurion, Proxigar, and Ronin. They get captured by those sentries, and they are being brought to Black Rook Hold, which is the ancient, castle of the Ravencrests. And this, I call it castle. I think it's more like a dungeon, but none the matter. It was carved into the face of a mountain, so the whole of Blackrook Hold is one big rock with big as steel gates as the only way in, and the stories are that no prisoners ever escape from Blackrook Hold, but this is the final station. There's nothing else there but pain and misery. So what's happening, what's been happening the whole time? The Highborn, they want to strengthen their portal. They want to cut off the Well of Eternity from every other Night Elf so that they can control its vast power, so that they can strengthen the portal, luring Sargeras to their world. But they fail. They do fail quite often, so the Demon Lord gets impatient and scolds his loyal servant, his Hakar, the Houndmaster. Oh, is a rare mob? Rare mob! Fucking up a rare mob, fucking up a rare mob. Yeah. And while getting impatient, he sends someone else, someone of his loymans, and I got a talent point plus leather stuff. Okay. Now let's see, Warbringer, your charge now stuns its targets. That sounds nice. Double time, you can use charge twice in a row, but it can only grant rage once. That sounds also nice. There are 3 talents which I really like. I believe Juggernaut. Juggernaut sounds fine. I'm the Juggernaut bitch. So let's just turn in the quest and then talk about the Well of Eternity a little bit more. Hatchet's communication device crackles. Hatchet here? Are they all dead? The communication console hums. Those Worgen you killed were the scouting party. There are hundreds more incoming. Looks like Crowley and a Bloodfang made the blood offering to every human in Lordaeron. Get in one of those horde cannons and send them all back to their makers. Let the waters of Lordaemer Lake run red with their blood. Sounds fun. Fisherman. Fisherman! Who...
I'm listening.
Okay. So, getting inside a cannon and firing the fuck out of them. Yeah. So, Black Rook hold. Could I just move? Why don't I hit them? I don't hit them. No. Yeah, I was talking about Black Rook hold, and they start to interrogate Malfurion, but not in the normal way of asking what's happening. Ronan tries to calm the situation. He tries to explain as much as he dares without altering the timeline. But this obviously isn't enough for the Moon Guard. So they interrogate Malfurion hardcore. So, and that is when we need to switch places again, back to the Palace of the Night Elves, back to Azjara and her Highborn. So, I told you, they wanted to seal off the Well of Eternity from anyone who isn't a Highborn. So, what happens is that they failed. Sagadas grew impatient and sent another one of his, well, very high in commands. And the one he sends is someone who is not a stranger to the Warcraft lore. And yeah, he's dead at the moment, but with demons is always a thing. So he sends his trusted lieutenant, he sends Manoroth, who is a pit lord. And in the eyes of the Night Elves, he is a magnificent being. They simply don't see through the charade Sagadas has cast them on. I don't know. They see in Sagadas a god, a benevolent god, and not the demon lord that well every sane one would see. So the Moon Guard, they interrogate Malfurion with spells. They infiltrate his mind. They try to get the answers out of him. And Malfurion, suspects that this thing, those demons, that's nothing the Highborn do without the consent of their mistress, without the consent of Azjara. But Azjara, who is beloved by her people, she is trusted to be captured. They don't trust Lord Xavius, but they trust her. So they think that Lord Xavius has infiltrated the Highborn and taken Azjara prisoner. So they fault the counselor of Azjara with everything that happens. Which is, as we know, as we the reader know, wrong, simply wrong. But they don't. And even Malfurion and his twin, Illidan, they know too that there is no way that Azjara would permit such a thing. But in the eyes of the defenders, they only see their beloved queen in danger. They see Lord Xavius as the enemy. So Illidan, he speaks words of wisdom to his brother. It doesn't matter if they see her as an enemy. That charge, that went pretty wrong. They see only Xavius. And there's a quest. Get in one of those horde cannons and send them all back to the makers. I already had that quest? The fuck? I already had that quest? It looks like a group of the ambushers stayed behind. Make them pay for the insolence. Kill all of the Bloodfang stalkers at Olsen's Farthing for Sylvanas. For the Horde. Okay. No biggie. So. Yeah. What is going on is that I simply broke charge with these guys. Yeah, they stop interrogating Malfurion, but not because they want to, because they can't go on. They have the problem that the Highborn, with the aid of Manoros, they succeeded in cutting off the well from any sorcerer. And the Well of Eternity being such a huge part of the Night Elven culture, the sorcerers, they can't adjust to not having the well's power around them. So many of the inhabitants of Zin Azjari, the capital of the Night Elves, where the palace of Asura stands, they are gathered before the gates of the palace. They are gathered to seek answers, to plead to their queen, to explain, to help them in their misery. But alas, nothing happens. They sit there for hours and hours and hours. Meanwhile, the interrogation had finished with Malfurion, and a resistance to the demonic forces, to the Highborn, has mounted, being Lord Ravencrest and his followers, but also permitting Broxigar, Malfurion and Ronin to fight along. Those strangers who are distrusted by the Night Elven, as I said before, they think of them as impure beings, but in a time of need they do take everything they get. So those believed traitors can fit in the ranks of the defenders. But Malfurion has another plan, for he knows that the well is cut off by a spell. What he suggests is he goes to the Temple of the Moon, where his beloved Tyrande resides right now, and he tries to meditate, to get back into the Emerald Dream, to disturb the spell that is being cast, so that the defenders might have a chance. In the meantime, and the problem with this story is that it cuts so much to other places that I myself have to figure out what I want to tell next. So I try to stay on a cohesive storyline and always say meantime in the meantime, and it jumps quite a lot. But the next part is very much important, for while the fight with the Fell Beast and so on, and I need to get the quest, the Banshee Queen's voice invades your thoughts. You have avenged the fallen Yanko, but there is more to be done. The Banshee Queen's voice invades your thoughts once more. Search the nearby farmhouse for Lion's Straggers. Keep an eye out for any information that could lead us to Crowley and Bloodfang. Seek and destroy all that would stand in your way, Rianko. Okay, no problem. Yeah. And where was I? Yeah. Crassus is greeted by his beloved, by the Queen of Life, by Ashara. And there is someone, and he tells her his story, which she believes. She summons his younger self to his side, and they see that they are both getting stronger all the while they're together. And again, a quest. What is your status? The Banshee Queen's words float in your head. This book document a recent meeting with Ivar Bloodfang. The location mentioned is the Deep Elm Mine. I know of this place. It has only one entrance. We shall corner and crush them. Okay. The Banshee Queen speaks through your mind. We must act quickly, Rianko. They mustn't be given a chance to flee. I am dispatching a squadron of my most powerful troopers to the Deep Elm Mine. I'm also sending the horsemen with them to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Meet him at the Deep Elm Mine, east of Olsen's Farthing, and crush those rats. Okay. Okay, no problem. So, getting back to Crassus. He is strengthened by being near his younger counterpart. So, what he suggests is that Alexstrasza summons a meeting of the five. He wants to talk to all the aspects, to have a countermeasure for the demon threat. All that happens, of course. The meeting of the five is planned. Alexstrasza talks with Ysera, and Ysera in her stead talks to everyone else and summons all of them to the Chamber of the Aspects. So, in the book there is a brief pause for this storyline where Crassus is resting and Corialstras is resting. Corialstras, of course, accompanying the two of them, for the strength of Corialstras and Crassus is greatly increased when they're together, but this pause for Crassus only is in the book so that the battle against the Felbeasts can take place, and yeah, that's nothing more to mention. But we're at the end of the episode again, and we only got a little bit farther into the book. So I recently read it, which means I can give you much more detailed information about this. Really thinking that I should make the episodes longer, or kind of just tell you what happens and then quest further. But yeah, you can let me know in the comments. I will record another episode. I have time for another episode, and see to it that we at least finish the book by the next, let's say, 2 episodes. Yeah, and then I have to read the next book. But all that is future music. We see each other again in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.